We're here. That's it. Bro, sipping on this tea. What's up, everybody? Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Sorry I was like a couple minutes late. What's up, man? I figured we could talk about a few different stories, random stories on the internet, just to try to keep the algorithm happy. As I've said, been doing behind the scenes stuff, project stuff, been really busy. The mod's been busy on other stuff. That's why I haven't been so active. And so a couple of weird stories, man. I appreciate it. The haircut, I feel a little bit conflicted because I feel like they're not fading this enough. They need to do more fading. They need more fading. The other thing too, I was just talking to a friend. I think I'm gonna go keto again, man. There's no other way to stop this shit. Oh, sorry, cursing early. I just can't lose weight. I can't. I do my little jogs every day, but like the best shape I've ever been in is when I've done keto a couple years ago. But this is just really tough for me. I'm gonna try. But anyway, man, I hope you guys are doing well. I just want to say again, thank you guys for the support on the channel, people in the live chat, and Dominican Clark Kent. Folks, bro. So I mean, let's talk about a couple of things. Let me just start out with this. I had an idea where we were gonna start, but F it, man. Let's wing this shit. Not that I had much structure anyway, right? We're just rolling with it. But I thought I saw this when I was scrolling Instagram, and we have a lot of the animal people. Animal people. A vacationing woman tried to fly with her dog, saying it was her emotional support animal. When the airline staff stopped her, she abandoned her pet at an airport parking lot. She left the dog behind. Now, I know for the pet people, the animal people, this is an egregious act. This is the same equation as leaving a child behind. The police found the doggy in the stroller. So I thought that was kind of a little, I was just scrolling and I thought about all the pet lovers out there that would be appalled by this. That's pretty crazy. Just to get on the flight, she abandoned her dog, her emotional support dog. A female passenger who tried to fly to a resort with her French bulldog abandoned the animal in a parking lot after the staff refused to let the pet on board. The local police department said. The Allegheny County Police Department wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Oh, X crap. I can't stand this X shit. Like every time I get so confused in my Google Chrome, and you guys get confused on the Google Chrome, you see this X thing. I keep looking for the Twitter stuff on my phone too, to look for the icon. I'm always seeing this X crap. Still haven't gotten used to it. And it's still throwing me off here when reading this. So that the dog was found unattended in a stroller by officers who responded to an incident at Pittsburgh International Airport on Friday at 5:30 a.m. Airline staff told the passenger that she needed to put her dog in a crate to bring it onto the plane, but the woman later left the dog near short-term parking and proceeded to board the flight. Damn. A microchip was found on the dog, but the owner couldn't be contacted that day. James Madelinsky told Insider on Tuesday that the woman was flying to a resort and that she pretended her dog was an emotional support animal. Okay. The airline officials, however, were not convinced and told her she still needed a dog crate to fly. He added that the owner has since been identified after initial unsuccessful attempts to contact her, but Madelinsky did not say who she was. The police also didn't say where the woman was flying or which flight she had booked. The dog is being cared for by the Animal Friends of Pittsburgh. The state dog warden is expected to file charges. Oh, shit. They got a warden for the dogs? The state dog warden is expected to file charges against the dog's owner. It's illegal under Pennsylvania law to abandon a dog. Damn, they got more rights than babies and shit. Okay. No, I'm kidding. I know a baby being abandoned probably, but they move swift on this shit. And convicted owners can face fines up to $1,000. Wow. So Lil Tay. Oh, I thought she had the middle finger up. There was this story yesterday. By the way, Rabbit, what's up in the chat? Rabbit covered this story yesterday. I didn't get to catch it, but I heard about it. And, when the story first came out, apparently they were saying, well, her Instagram said it. Her Instagram said that and I didn't see it myself, that Lil Tay and her brother had passed away. And it was crazy on the internet. Some people think this is a publicity stunt. This page has been, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was her brother manages her page. I've seen her on and off over the years. I've never been into Lil Tay or what she does. I don't know. She's an influencer. I don't know if she does like trolling stuff. I don't know what her come up is. I thought it was like comedy or something. Flexing. 14. I don't know how old she is. 14. Flexing. The last video here, I think, is her having a conversation with XXXTentacion. So some people think this might have been another flex move. So yesterday, the Instagram says that she passed away. Dead wrong. The online world is collectively breathing a sigh of relief upon hearing the news that the 14-year-old influencer, I feel like this chick's been 14-year-old for like 10 years. I don't know. Lil Tay is alive after an Instagram post announced her death on Wednesday. And let me tell you, all the mainstream media was covering this. I seen it all over. When I did a Google yesterday, they just said she's dead. She dead. Let me do this article better. TMZ. But Lil Tay is not dead. Social media personality Lil Tay is very much still alive, claiming her Instagram account was compromised. What do you guys think? Let me ask you this in the chat. Was it compromised? Lil Tay. Lil Tay compromised? Okay, actually, let me do this. Lil Tay. I'll do one, compromise or stunt. Or should I say hoax? Stunt. Stunt. I mean, she's been flexing and stunt all this time. Why would she not stunt again? I don't know. So, was compromised and used to spread jarring misinformation about her and her brother's death. I mean, I guess it's possible. In a statement provided to TMZ from Tay's family, she tells TMZ, "I want to make it clear that my brother and I are..." Like, how long did it take them to put this statement out? Was this today? This shit was this morning? Wasn't this rumor rolling around for like 24 hours? Why did they wait so long to say I'm alive? Hoax rabbit? What? With such a huge media following, how long did it take for them to publicly say I'm alive? For Fromple Feet says their dad said he couldn't confirm or deny. It tells me that's pretty sus. The statement provided to TMZ from Tay's family. I want to make it clear that my brother and I are safe and alive, but I'm completely heartbroken and struggling to even find the right words to say. It's been a very traumatizing 24 hours. And so if your account has been compromised, why is that traumatizing? Or why not just post from the same account with 3.5 million followers? Hey, I'm alive. I was compromised. I don't know. Reza Cat, thank you so much for the super chat. What's up with the doc? Whoa. That the baby she was delivering? I haven't seen that, but I'm going to add it to the list of things we can talk about tonight. Thanks for the super chat. I haven't seen that. What the hell? So, Lil Tay's not a miracle, I guess. They have 12% say compromise. Okay. So 12% believe that her account was hacked. Isn't that like the celebrity thing to say too? My account was hacked. After a crazy night, my account was hacked. All day yesterday, I was bombarded with endless, heartbreaking, and tearful phone calls from loved ones, all while trying to sort out this mess. She also says if her account was compromised, maybe that's why she couldn't post on Instagram, I guess. She also says my Instagram account was compromised by a third party and used to spread jarring misinformation and rumors regarding me, to the point that even my name was wrong. My legal name is Tay Tian, not Claire Hope. All right, maybe they got her. I don't know. Tay thanks Meta for helping her get her Instagram account back, and the phony death statement has been removed. Why? That's what I want to know. What's still unclear is why it took 24 hours. Why? Because the thing is, couldn't she reached out to I thought some of these media reached out to like the coroner's office and the police station, right? And they said that they couldn't confirm this. That's what I was just saying. Why 24 hours? Especially because she says she's aware her account was hacked and was getting phone calls about her death. Oh, hell no, TMZ. On Wednesday, TMZ contacted police in Vancouver area as well as family members who were totally in the dark and knew nothing of her passing. Now we know why. It's with heavy heart that we share the devastating news that our beloved Claire's sudden and tragic passing. We have no words to express the unbearable loss and indescribable pain. This outcome was entirely unexpected and has left us all in shock. Her brother's passing adds even more unimaginable depth to our grief. During this time of immense sorrow, we kindly ask for privacy as we grieve this overwhelming loss, as the circumstances surrounding Claire and her brother's passing are still under investigation. Claire will forever remain in our hearts, her absence leaving an irreplaceable void that will be felt by all who knew and loved her. Wow. Tay's fake death was announced Wednesday morning on her Instagram. The statement said sudden tragic passing. We read all that. The statement claimed her brother died. Lil Tay got her fame as the world's youngest flexer that rapped and showed off a lavish lifestyle across social media. She garnered 3.2 million followers on Instagram. I hadn't posted on the account since 2018. Yeah, she had like this flex account. That's what it was, flexing. And I guess I remember back then it was kind of like, wow. But it was all, I thought I heard it was her brother running the thing, running the social media account. More than your rent, more than your aunties. That's $200K in cash. Man. You'll recall Tay was caught in the middle of a nasty custody battle between her parents, Angela and Christopher. Once we were told had been going on in court since 2018, around the same time the influencer went radio silent. All right. Lil Tay, for those that care about Lil Tay, she's alive. Read her brother's statement. Where's the brother's statement at? Let's see, Lil Tay. Oh, Jesus. Lil Tay, brother statement. Lil Tay's crypto hawking ex-manager blames death hoax on her brother. Oh, hell no. To the no. Saying ain't so. Ooh. I gotta fix the screen. It's kind of still recovering from the chase. Lil Tay's crypto hawking ex-manager blames bonkers death hoax on her brother. This is from the Daily Beast, I think. Oh no. The bizarre story behind former teen internet star Lil Tay purported death only grew more bizarre on Thursday, with Tay's ex-manager casting doubt on claims that a hacker posted a fake death announcement on Tay's Instagram. The Wednesday post on Tay's Instagram announced the unexpected deaths of both Lil Tay and her brother, but Tay, who rose to fame largely off the back of transparently staged scandals, seemingly came forward 24 hours later, issuing a statement saying she was very much alive and had been hacked by a third party. However, her ex-manager, Harriet Sang, who recently started touting a cryptocurrency coin in Tay's name, said he didn't think it was a hack at all. Instead, Sang said he believed it was an elaborate ruse from Tay's brother, Jason Tien, who was once accused of coaching Tay on what to say in some of the profane videos that rocketed her to her fame in 2018. She was just 9 years old. Wow. I sent to your Gmail. Okay. Lil Tay saying it so. Okay. Okay. Oh, I got that. Thank you. The Georgia story. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. What's up? What's up? Elizabeth, it's hard to lose weight. I've been trying my whole life. Her brother is alive, and I bet my next paycheck is behind this. It came out. Damn. Bruh. All right, I guess let's move on from Tay. We're gonna jump to this Georgia story. Georgia doctor decapitated baby during delivery, according to lawsuit. And then we'll get to this. We got to get to Alicia, and we got to get to this supposed China lab. I don't know what kind, some lab in California, out of all places, I guess, right? They had all kinds of chemicals and biological stuff in there, and they were growing COVID in there and all kinds of shit. Kind of weird. There's not much talk about that. For all the talk that's been about COVID, they're quiet about this shit. All right. Georgia doctor decapitated baby during delivery, according to lawsuit. The parents' attorneys also accused the hospital in Riverdale of trying to cover up decapitation by discouraging the couple from getting an autopsy. Wow. Let's check it out. Hold on. I wonder if we can get the whole video to this.
This is one of the
Can we find the whole video to this?
sad, egregious, and horrific situations that I've ever seen.
Inside Southern Regional Medical Center 1 month ago, lawyers say a couple was preparing to welcome their first child into the world.
But unfortunately, their dreams and hopes turned into a nightmare that was covered up by Southern Regional Medical Center.
Lawyers say Jessica Ross went into labor for 10 hours on July 9th. When complications arose, they say the doctor did not call for proper emergency procedures in a timely manner, calling the doctor negligent.
For applying ridiculously excessive force on the baby's head and neck.
Then lawyers say Ross was moved to get a C-section.
The feet came out, the body came out.
Wow.
After Ross was not allowed to hold her child, only view him from behind the glass, according to her attorneys, who say the hospital tried to cover up what happened to her baby.
Up to that point.
Okay, because usually it's the head that comes out first, right? Like preferably. Sometimes it could be the other way around. If I remember correctly, one of the ladies in the chat could tell me. I thought it was preferable, right, for the head to come out first, right? I don't know. Am I thinking that shit right? Or is it legs?
The body came out, and there was no head.
Holy
After
shit.
Ross.
Can we see if we can find that full press conference? We can listen to that. Oh man, that I can't even imagine what that's like as far as like the parents and stuff. Head first, right? I can't imagine because I think about my daughter, and you know, I already, like I've said before, I already had a relationship with my daughter before she was born. I used to read to her, sing to her, all that kind of stuff while she was in the belly. So like, you know, for something like that to just, holy crap. Not even show me anything related to what I'm looking for. What the hell? Here we go. I found kind of a clip, but by recent. Let's see, what's this?
Tell you all about what happened.
Not the best, but
okay. On July the 9th, 2023, just a few weeks ago, Jessica and Travion, they were excited. She was 37 weeks pregnant at that time.
And so,
they were
what is
really,
the procedure if the baby is not coming out head first, right? I thought and can't they, don't they usually, aren't they able to tell before before even birth that like the baby's in a bad position type of thing usually?
really looking forward to the delivery of their firstborn child. Her water broke at about 10 o'clock in the morning on the 9th. Appropriately, she went over to labor and delivery over the Southern Regional. They admitted her and put her on an IV and gave her some medicine to basically progress the delivery. She labored for about 10 hours, and then probably around 10, or strike that, about 8:40 in the evening, she was fully dilated and told her to start pushing. Well, during the course of the pushing, the baby stopped descending. There's something called a shoulder dystocia, fancy word for saying that the baby's shoulders could not fit through the pelvic girdle. It got stuck by the bone there in the pelvic girdle. That was recognized, and what wound up happening after that is just brutal. Dr. St. Julian came in,
Oh my God, look at
and she, in the process of trying...
I'm looking at the side of recommendations. I swear this is not me. What the hell? I'm just looking at the side of this Facebook recommendation. I know, horrible timing. Let me see. Can I cut that out? Relationship coach. I think we'll leave it there. It doesn't look so bad.
Trying to deliver this baby, pulled on the baby's head and neck so hard and manipulated them so hard that the bones in the baby's skull, face, and neck were broken.
They're offering a $10K settlement. Hell nah, dude. Especially with the hospital, they could do way more than that. What the hell?
When Dr. St. Julian finally took Miss Ross to the operating room for a C-section, cesarean section, where they cut the belly and deliver the baby through the abdomen, when the womb was open, the feet came out, the body came out, and there was no head. The head was stuck in the vagina, and the head subsequently was delivered vaginally. The baby had been decapitated. Dr. St. Julian was grossly negligent for applying ridiculously excessive force on the baby's head and neck. Dr. St. Julian and the nurses at Southern Regional Medical Center, they were grossly negligent for not getting the help of the on-site in-hospital OB in a timely manner. They have a hospitalist obstetrician who's there on site. And when doctors have problems with delivery, the first thing you do is call them and you get help. You get another perspective, another angle.
I can't even imagine, yo. I cannot even, like that happening in the moment. And so I guess they're claiming, well, Liberal has to see that they feel that they were trying to hide what happened. But at the same time, what the hell do you say? That's just like, I don't know. Has there been other cases of this before? Let's see.
This was not done in a timely manner, negligently. And then also, the nurses at Southern Regional Medical Center were grossly negligent for failing to advocate and insist in other capacities that Ms. Ross got a C-section quicker, sooner, in a more timely manner. So those are the allegations that we claim in this suit. We just filed it. We're going to be very, very aggressive with the discovery. We're going to put all of these people who were in the room under oath and find out what they have to say specifically about what happened that tragic evening. That is the essence of our suit. That's the essence of the press conference. So we're going to open things up for open things up for questions.
Okay, so it was a pretty short press conference.
Have you spoken with the hospital? I mean, why do you think they tried to cover this up?
Yeah, we cannot speculate about what the motivations were for the lack of candor, the lack of disclosure, the misrepresentation, and the fraud. We will find out because we're going to put everybody under oath, and they're going to swear, and they're going to tell us what they were thinking. We don't know.
How long did it take Jessica and everyone to learn what happened to their child?
Attorney Lynch, if you would. This is dealing with the fraud and cover-up.
The family went in on the 9th for the delivery of the child. They were not notified of what actually happened until the 13th, a few days later.
And that was from the medical examiner?
That was from the funeral home.
That was from the funeral.
Yes.
Can you also speak to the fact that they were not allowed to hold their child?
Yes, they were not allowed to hold their child. The hospital basically said, hey, well, we can't let you hold the child. We can, and my understanding is that they at one time did not want them to see the child. But what they did, the hospital wrapped the child up very tightly so that they could not see.
I mean, that's a very weird, I don't even know what you do. I feel so sorry for the family. And but it's a weird, I don't know what, the doctor screwed up. I don't know what happened. But then you want to see the baby, and they're kind of like, the baby is decapitated. I mean, you can't just, that's probably traumatizing in itself to try to give the baby over like that, too. Jeez.
Actually happened, and they were able to see the child behind the glass.
And let me be more specific. In an attempt to basically misrepresent and miscommunicate to the family, when they wrapped this baby up tightly, they propped the baby's head up on top of the blanket to make it appear as though the head was actually attached.
No. So I guess he pulls out the baby. The baby is decapitated. I guess the mother wants to see the baby, so they wrap the baby up tightly and put the head back on.
And let me be more specific. in an attempt to basically misrepresent and miscommunicate to the family, when they wrapped this baby up tightly, they propped the baby's head up on top of the blanket to make it appear as though the head was actually attached when it wasn't.
So they actually saw the baby on the day of the delivery?
The day that morning, well, the day of the delivery, it's my understanding that same day. So when I say same, they kind of went from the 9th into the 10th. So the stat C-section was called at about close to midnight. The surgery was over at 3 in the morning. The first conversation that Dr. St. Julian had with the couple was at about 5 in the morning, and that's when there was not total candor and disclosure at that time. The records reflect that Dr. St. Julian came in the next day and the next day after with the intention of actually telling the couple the truth. The couple reasonably didn't want to talk to her at that time, and finally, a day after she was discharged, there was a meeting that occurred 4 days after delivery where Dr. St. Julian came clean.
Just for clarity purposes, can you kind of go through the timeline of when the birth happened or the C-section,
Sure.
when they learned their baby did not make it, and then when they learned what
Okay.
happened?
And all of this is in the complaint and in the facts, but
And can you step closer to the...
yeah, all of this is in the complaint and it's in the facts, but the water broke at about 10 in the morning. They were admitted into the hospital at L&D at about 10 in the morning, 10:11 in the morning. The labor continued at about 8:40 in the evening. That's when she was fully dilated and she started pushing. All of the shoulder dystocia and the failure to ascend occurred from 8:40 until about midnight. At about 11:49 p.m., after Dr. St. Julian had manipulated the head and the neck and the like, trying to get this baby delivered, that's when she finally called for the stat C-section. And they took Miss Ross from the labor delivery suite, which is a separate room. The operating room was just right next door. So they rolled through the doors and then they proceeded and started with the C-section. The C-section, the baby was delivered at about 12:11. That's what the records show. You could go back to the complaint and just verify. But about 10 minutes after rolling the baby back there, the mother back there, the baby was delivered again. Half of the baby first, and then the head a couple seconds after that. And then at 5 in the morning, after the surgery was over at 3 in the morning. At 5 in the morning, that's when Dr. St. Julian came in and gave them the misinformation.
Did your clients raise concerns during the delivery about how things were going, and did they feel like they were ignored because of their race?
The answer is, in fact, yes. There's more evidence developing this, but
I think whoever recorded the video, that's like some sort of notification going on there.
Asked for a C-section much sooner than it was ever delivered, while the baby was viable.
And I don't know if Jessica or Trayvon are willing to talk about just what the emotional impact has been like.
I can tell you, we've asked them to do that. They've declined at this point. It's just too overwhelming for them. I mean, that was the plan as of yesterday, but when they were sitting in the conference room, they looked at y'all and said, we just can't do it.
Sorry, one more question. Did they feel like insurance or lack of insurance was playing into this at all, and the decision not to go for a C-section sooner?
That's interesting. Yeah, so 10 hours and then decided to go for a C-section. But he asked him if he thought, I think the reporter asked about, do you think that the delay was because of that?
Did they feel like insurance or lack of insurance was playing into this at all, and the decision not to go for a C-section sooner?
No. All right. My law partner, Keith Lindsay, just has conclusionary remarks.
Thank you, Ron. Thank all of you for coming and attending this most important story. It is as horrific as it sounds. We're happy to email copies of the complaint to each and every one of you. We'll get with our paralegal Alexis for that. And then if you have any questions or requests for interviews, contact Ryan Julison. His number is 321-377-6877.
So I don't know if that's normal or not. Maybe I don't know, waiting in 10 hours, maybe they decided that she couldn't deliver. This is a post that Riza Cat also sent me as well. We'll just read this. So July 9th, 10 a.m., newly parents Jessica and her boyfriend Trayvon went to the emergency room at Southern Regional Medical Center in Riverdale after her water broke. 8:40 p.m. later that night, Jessica was fully dilated and began pushing. Their bundle of joy was on their way out, but he stopped when his shoulders got stuck in the vaginal canal. Dr. Tracy Julian came in, and instead of performing a C-section, she proceeded delivering the baby vaginally. The doctor pulled on his head and neck using excessive force to get him out, causing the bones in the newborn's skull and face and neck to break. 3 hours later, after tugging, pulling, and manipulating the newborn's body, Dr. St. Julian calls for the emergency C-section. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Now that it's written, I kind of understand more of the timeline. 12:11 a.m., the baby's body and legs were delivered. Shortly after his head was delivered, vaginally detached from his body. Shortly after his head was delivered, vaginally detached from his body. Okay. The doctor and staff did not tell the couple what happened to their son and refused to let them hold him after his death. Instead, they were shown his body wrapped tightly in a blanket with his head propped on top. That is insane, dude. Wow. That is some crazy shit. I mean, I don't know. The two didn't understand why they were being pressured not to get an autopsy. The two didn't understand why they were being pressured not to get an autopsy and encouraged to cremate their son. It wasn't until 4 days later after his death they found out why. That's just odd. Dr. Tracy St. Julian was questioned and admitted to authorities that the family what happened, and based off of that, the parents filed a lawsuit and are asking for compensation and punitive damages of more than $10,000. Now that $10,000 thing, because I've been learning a lot, they could be actually asking for more. That just might be legally what they need to get into that court. So, I mean, yeah, 10,000 sounds pretty low. They definitely, with the hospital and all that shit going on, they'd probably be able to get more. For sure, more than 10,000. That might be just in the court what they need to get in. They're not actually listing the whole thing. So, wow, what a crazy story. Thanks, Risa, for sharing that. Holy crap. Now, this whole thing is kind of weird. I'm not even sure where to start. Alicia Navarro. Antonia, thank you for the 12-month membership. There are many HCPs that have no value for life. I'm an RN, registered nurse, and expert witness. This is just a very extreme example of what happens way too often. Wow. Alicia Navarro miraculously appeared safe 4 years later. This was kind of weird. I think the mother said it's a miracle. Could be, but it's kind of weird. She's with some guy. It's like, we're going to get into more of that, but this is the video of her talking to police.
Did anybody hurt you in any way?
No, no one hurt me.
Okay, because, our goal is we just want to make sure that you're safe.
I don't, I understand that.
I'm not sure why here he can't hear the audio, but
thank you very much for talking
I
with
want to see that full thing.
us.
Of course. Thank you for offering help to me.
Yes, ma'am. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Odd ass interview. We can't see it all. I don't even know if we need to watch the whole presser on that or not. There's a presser. We might watch a little bit of it. Maybe we're not. Let's listen to this ex-FBI breaks down video.
For answers continues in the case of Alicia Navarro after going missing from her Glendale home almost 4 years ago.
And I actually covered this story back then. I think I might have done like a video on her or something. I covered it once a long time ago and didn't think too much of it. And in the haze of all this stuff happening, like Various and Carly, and I feel like there's somebody else. Alicia, look at that. I covered this story a long time ago. On 2021. I covered this story. Hey, what's up, it's Ticket Mel? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing good. We're going to be talking about Alicia. Oh, check this out. But high function now, Jessica, the mother.
This message is for you, for the person who knows where my daughter, Alicia Navarro, is.
Oh, shoot.
18 years
All right,
old.
do that. And high functioning autistic is what they say. Alicia is a high functioning autistic and needs medication, which this was posted on the Noemi Boulevard Facebook group, which you might remember her. She was a local girl.
But I want you to know that whatever happened, I do forgive you. Like I always
Right, so you
said.
kind of get the drift. I'm not going to play the full 35-minute video.
And with a man near 67th Avenue and says she nights ago.
Teenager.
Saturday.
Knows, because there's no way that my daughter will do this.
Live PD Nation, tonight we need your help to find a missing Arizona teenager.
Saturday, Alicia made national television. Glendale police telling us they're limiting interviews on this case, but spoke on Live PD 2 nights ago.
Right now, we could really use the public's help.
Among the tips received, a woman says she saw Alicia walking hand in hand with a man near 67th Avenue and Bethany home.
Pero si era la niña, no?
Yes, it was the girl. I got a good look, she said. And another woman says she saw the teen in the same area. Those reports, though, still not bringing Alicia home.
We'll stop right there. But they've been for a while, quite a bit, looking for this woman.
She surprisingly showed up safe at a Montana police department yesterday.
Yeah, while some details remain a mystery, Glendale police released 2 short video clips. We took those clips to a former FBI agent who specializes in child victims, and he says something stuck out to him right away. Let's get over to Brianna Whitney now with the analysis. Brianna.
Yeah, so this is a fascinating interview. He had so much to say. He has so much experience dealing with child victims. And I asked him, is there a chance a crime was not committed here?
And this is a weird thing, because we're going to get to it in a second with this older guy now that's with her, that there's pictures and stuff. I think I read one article stating that supposedly he had nothing to do with that. But then you have like this, I don't know, supposed witness from back then that says she saw him or her with a guy. I don't know.
Navarro was living on her own after running away for 4 years. He said, yes, that is possible, but not probable. He suspects there is much more at play here based on everything we know so far.
Did anybody hurt you in any way?
No, no one hurt me.
Short video clips of now 18-year-old Alicia Navarro at the center of this mystery. What happened to her for the last 4 years?
She's a minor at the time she disappeared. So if somebody was taking advantage of her, she's not in a position to give consent.
Jim Eggleston is a former FBI agent who spent years working with victims, especially child victims of human trafficking. While we don't know what exactly happened to Alicia back in 2019 or where she went, we do know she left a note for her mom saying she was sorry for running away. At the time, her mother said she had autism. Nobody heard from Alicia again until she walked into a police department in Havre, Montana this week by herself, a small town nearly 1,400 miles away.
We're going to read an article. The reason she came in and said, hey, I'm safe. Please take me off this missing person thing is because she wanted to get her driver's license. And I guess she couldn't get it with being on the missing persons thing.
I think one of the keys to unraveling what happened to her and holding whoever may have been with her responsible is the investigators are going to have to spend time and develop trust and rapport with her over a series of contacts and interviews.
I asked Eggleston if anything seemed out of the ordinary about Alicia in these clips.
No, our goal is we just want to make sure that you're safe.
I don't I understand that.
He says it's less about her demeanor and more about the words she was saying.
So regardless of whether or not she's been diagnosed with autism, what strikes me is what I saw in many of the victims that I helped recover when I was working those cases. And that is, they often don't recognize that they are a victim. It used to be referred to as Stockholm Syndrome. Now it's called trauma bonding.
Thank you very much for talking with us.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for
Very odd.
offering help to me.
Eggleston says while it's a miracle Alicia is alive and safe, he believes the investigation will reveal that a crime was committed and that Alicia may have experienced trauma no child should have to go through.
I don't see how this is likely without some other person being involved. And if another person was involved, you have to question their motives, of course.
Even though Alicia is now 18 years old and an adult, Eggleston says charges can still be filed in this case depending on what investigators uncover. Alicia's family's private investigator told us today her mom is very happy and overwhelmed with everything and that she and Alicia have been able to speak over video chat, but there's still a lot to piece together here.
Okay. I want to get to this article because now the boyfriend, the current guy, whatever. Javier, thank you for the membership, gifting the membership, and as well as Elvis Gale. Thank you so much. Let's watch this video. Let's watch this video first. Oh Lord, let's see. They got something right here.
I wrote this down.
This mama.
I'm going to be reading out of the statement that I made. I'm making this video to let everybody know how much I appreciate the support you have given Alicia and me over the last 4 years. I could never have kept going without all of your love, help, and well wishes. I can't even put into words the amount of gratitude I have for you all. But now that we know Alicia is alive, I have to ask one more favor of you. I know you want answers and I do too. But the public search for answers has taken a turn for the dangerous. I have been harassed. My family has been attacked all over the internet. The public has gone from trying to help Alicia to doing things like trying to show up to her house and putting her safety in jeopardy. So I beg you, please, no more TikToks, no more reaching out to Alicia or to me with your speculations or questions or assumptions. This is not a movie, this is our life. This is my daughter.
Elizabeth, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Gracias. Thank you so much.
I love her more than anything in the world. And I think I have shown you that. My job has always been to protect her. And just as I never gave up on her before, I won't stand for the treatment of her now. For this is my statement. There's an ongoing investigation and I'm begging you to move on.
Wow. So yeah, the last time we covered this, or I covered this, was in 2021, years ago. And I guess now we can put the final closing chapter, but it is odd. And this is one of the things that I've said too, like many times, that when you're covering these missing person stories and the person turns up, which has happened quite a bit of times, stories that I've covered, the person just turns up. And when they turn up, it's kind of, after that, it's radio silent. People want answers. People want this and that. They kind of like it. That's it. You know, the family doesn't want to be bothered or whatever. I mean, that didn't work out for Carly, Carly Russell. So, I mean, I didn't know people were going to harass the parents. But anyway, so Alicia Navarro's 36-year-old husky boyfriend revealed after he helped her flee Montana apartment. Hold on, let's see here. Recently reemerged teen Alicia and the former Walmart worker she's been shacking up with fled the Montana apartment where they were staying Monday night. I wonder if it's because were people coming for them, maybe? Navarro, 18, and the bearded husky boyfriend, identified by several local sources, say that 36-year-old Eddie Davis cleared out their Havre apartment and left with the help of his family Neighbor Garnett Smith told the Post Tuesday. Later that day, Navarro was exclusively pictured by the Post with Davis at their parents' trailer park home at the Fort Belknap Indian Reservation. Interesting. In nearby Harlem, Montana. They got a Harlem in Montana? Oh, shit. Harlem. Husky's a nice word. Is it? I guess it could be, right? I don't really. I'm deemed husky, but I don't know. Hey, husky guy. I wouldn't see him as a compliment, really, but she helped him unload his car after a trip to the local supermarket, smiling as Davis hid his head from the sun under a towel. Although they've been living together for more than a year, according to neighbors, there's nothing to suspect that Davis, who is twice her age, had any part in Navarro's 2019 disappearance from Arizona at the age of 14. So it's very, very weird, suspicious. This according to neighbors, they're saying there's nothing to suggest that he had any involvement in that. Who has she been with these couple of years since the age of 14 to now 18? She pops up, and that's what I noticed when she was not really found, but when she reappeared, I had noticed the age, and we were talking about that in a random live stream. We were talking about that, how noticed that she waited till after 17, 18. It's this whole thing of her wanting to be taken off the missing persons thing. That's not to say she somebody didn't groom her. It's very possible she did, or somebody did. But according to neighbors, they're saying he's not involved, resulting in a huge nationwide search led by her mother, Jessica. Alicia miraculously walked to the Havre police station on July 23rd and asked to be taken off the missing persons list a day after locals said they had heard her arguing with Davis and threatening, "I will go back." Oh, shit. Okay. Uh-oh. I didn't read that part. So she another miracle, because lately we've been getting a lot of miracles. It's just God and Jesus is just really putting in work. So Alicia miraculously walked into the Havre police station on July 23rd and asked cops to be taken off the missing persons list a day after locals. See, the thing with this too is the locals are probably going to know a lot of information, I guess. A day after locals said they had heard her arguing with Davis and threatening, "I will go back." That's kind of odd. Go back to where? Go back home? To your parents? Go back where? Go back where? Who's back? Or who she's been with those couple of years? Go back to who? Public records show that Davis has lived in Montana all his life. Posts on his Facebook account talked about how he experienced country living for the first part of his life, then the work and injuries in my 20s. In 2018, he posted about how he struggled with weight loss and low self-esteem and revealed that he had been working to shed some pounds after reaching 270 pounds. So here's like a picture of them. That's wild, bro. I mean, at 14, she left home. Brain is still developing. You know. Alicia Navarro was seen with Edmund Davis Tuesday near the home of his mother. Man. Wow. The two had loaded their 2 cars up with the help of Davis' family on Tuesday. Davis worked the night shift at a local Walmart before he was let go several months ago. A former coworker told the Post, asking to remain anonymous out of fear they'd lose their job. So he was let go. Why did they let him go? Davis had griped about his job and colleagues on Facebook in the past, writing in January 2018, "Feels pretty good having no coworkers as friends on Facebook now. No one to cry to the supervisors about what I say. A bunch of bitches. Except the ones who are my friends on Facebook. You guys are cool as hell." The coworkers said that they had seen Davis driving with a woman who appeared to be Navarro. "I could see it was a younger female with dark hair," the worker said. "She didn't look scared or anything. She looked comfortable in the car." Damn. Local residents identified Eddie as the man who Navarro was been living with. Who's taking these pictures? Bridget Seltzler, the New York Post. Navarro smiled as they took items from the family car. So are they taking these pictures and they can't see them? Is it like in the movies where they're hiding in a car or something with these cameras? Navarro smiled as they took items from the family car after earlier packing up and leaving the apartment where they had been staying in Montana. Neighbor Jonathan Michelson described Davis as someone who doesn't go out much. If he does, it's late in the day. He doesn't like us playing loud music. He's mostly banged on the wall. It left a bad impression on me, so I never tried to get to know him. I said something along the lines like, chill out. It's the middle of the day. He said, turn it down. He might have thrown the F-bomb. Yeah. So it's an ongoing investigation involving the U.S. Marshals, FBI, and police forces. Okay. Local said authorities raided the apartment where Navarro had been staying last Wednesday, and police later confirmed the male occupant was detained and questioned. Okay. No arrests have been made in connection with her disappearance, and Davis is not believed to be under police suspicion. Okay, so where has she been? The pair fled to their Harvard apartment Monday in a dark Mitsubishi Eclipse around 8 p.m. local time, accompanied by Davis' family in a 2000 Chevrolet Suburban, Smith said. Navarro opened the car door herself and got inside on her own. Her demeanor didn't look any different from the last time I saw her, Smith said. Was quiet, shy, didn't say a word, didn't look down or up, just looked straight. And this is where they were living. Smith added she and Davis were not holding hands. They appeared to leave behind even their own mail as they fled. Davis' relatives had been packing the Suburban with furniture, boxes, and other household items over the past few days. Damn, bro. I don't know. Odd. Very odd. Or is it not that odd? So, Alicia Navarro moves to reservation plagued by meth, sex, and crimes, and tribal members are wary. I hear a lot of, I don't know if a lot, but I hear there's sometimes in these reservations, drug stuff going on. Moved onto a Native American reservation plagued by violence, drugs, and sex crime. I think a long time ago I watched some sort of documentary or something about those reservations. I mean, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of people in those kids and struggle with drugs and alcohol. The 18-year-old and boyfriend Eddie Davis, who was twice her age, spent Thursday moving the last of their belongings from the apartment that had been rented in Harvard, Montana, to Davis's mother's trailer home in Fort Belknap Reservation. Okay. However, members of two tribes who inhabit the 3,500 person reservation warn it can be a dangerous place. We have high incidents of substance abuse, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and a lot of intergenerational traumas with abuse in general. Tribal member Connie, who was born and raised on the reservation and lived there most of her life, told the Post, we obviously have a lot of real positives, but we also deal with a lot of internal generational traumas. Among the more serious recent crimes, 2 Fort Belknap residents were sentenced to 22 years each for sexual abuse of a girl under the age of 12 on the reservation in 2019. 9 sex offenders also listed as living on the tribal. Yeah, they can't ban sex offenders off the tribal grounds? Shouldn't that be like reasons for banning them? Or they still get to live amongst the communion? Can't they just kick them out of the tribal grounds? Another Montana resident received a 6-year prison sentence in 2022 after he admitted, to trafficking meth on the reservation. Wow. It really goes down over there. Yeah, man, she's barely the size of a trash can. Holy shit. I mean, is that a big trash can? They're a trash can in Montana on Thursday. Wow. Kind of creepy though, like all these pictures that he took. This past June, a Harlem, Montana man admitted assault with a dangerous weapon after he was accused of shooting an occupied house on the reservation. And on February 22nd, another man was sentenced to 6 years after he admitted to shooting up a house with a rifle. The arrival of Navarro, who was suspected of a nationwide search over the last 4 years, led by her mother after disappearing in the night from her Glendale, Arizona home with Davis, has also made some people worry, especially with the attention they bring to the area. To making the block hot, too much attention. His family is supporting him, Trouble member Cheryl said in reference to Davis, but all the rest of the community not wanting this. Not wanting this. Just because he's here doesn't mean we want him here. Oh, shit. Don't they have like some sort of communal whatever? They can just throw their asses out? Don't they have like a meeting and shit and they don't want someone in? They just put a vote to it and throw their ass out? Doesn't work like that? Trouble members do not usually get kicked off the reservation. They're hidden there. Oh, shit. Beautiful messy ball. So Rabbit said the same thing about the trash can. Oh, really? Well, that's the thing. Mohawk Moms and most reservations have their own police. I hear there's like crimes that go on in those reservations, and a lot of times they don't want to accept outside help. There's a lot of weird shit. I mean, I would need to see and learn more. I'm just dealing with a lot of shit right now. I don't have time to really. I mean, I'd watch a documentary. I don't even think I have time to watch a documentary, but I would watch a documentary just to see what goes down in the reservations, the politics, maybe. She said she heard there are men that are trying to get Davis off the reservation, which is home to Assiniboine and Gross Venture tribes. Another tribe member, Junior Healy, claims a group of men who are part of the missing and murdered indigenous woman movement want to reach Navarro. Me and some of the MMIW people who wanted to try to get her away from him. Oh, snap. So there's all kinds of drama. All kinds of drama. Did I hear you say she may have a child? No, I didn't say that. Ooh, hold up. Saucy as fuck. Thank you for the 15 months membership. Thank you so much for resubscribing. You see that car seat in the back of the truck? Hold up. Oh, no, wait. That's somebody else's truck, though. I think. You get out of the way. They're taking something out of this red vehicle, but this is like another vehicle in the back. Maybe see, but I don't know if that's a family vehicle or somebody else's vehicle. So there's some people that want to try to help, some people that want to get him out, some people that just want to help her. We need to have a certified advocate to sit with her while she's not around him. True. We have our own domestic violence. We have our own murders. We have our own MMIWs. We have enough unsolved things here. Wow. Okay. We do not need the attention. They want to stay out of the limelight. Police were shocked when Navarro walked into the police station and said she wanted to be taken off the missing persons list. Investigators flew in from Glendale to help investigate where she's been the 4 years since she disappeared, a case which also now involves FBI and U.S. Marshals. They searched the apartment she was sharing with Davis and questioned him, but brought no charges, and he is not thought to be under suspicion of any wrongdoing. Navarro's mother, Jessica, says she has spoken with her daughter over FaceTime, but they have yet to be reunited. Attempts to reach Navarro and Davis for comment have been unsuccessful. Okay. Authorities have made it clear that since Navarro is 18 years old, it is her choice whether to return to her former home or not. Warren, who sits on the Fort Belknap Indian Community Council, admitted crime is likely higher on the reservation than other areas, but was quick to note that they lacked funding from federal government to beef up law enforcement. Crime is just like it is most anywhere, but I think the level of crime is crime is bad just like it is most anywhere, but around I think the level of crime be a little bit higher. Whatever the fuck that means. I guess they have higher crime. Morin said, adding it's difficult to attract and retain police officers and prosecutors. Montana Reservation filed a lawsuit against the federal government in October after a $5.3 million funding request was denied. All right. They got more pictures. Ooh. More pic. Oh, Lord. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Next thing. Been here an hour. Wow, it feels like we've been here longer. Maybe because I've been reading a lot. No, you can't drive on the reservation. Yeah, so E&E says that's E&E. That's me says you can't drive on reservation. So what? Do they have it blocked off or something? You can't just pull up and chill with her. Reservation sells cigs, weed products, and gas. So this is something that's kind of happening. It was recently divers searching after 32 vehicles reportedly found submerged in Florida Lake. What the hell? Hola.
All right, so they just pulled the first car out, and it looks like this car's been underwater for a while here.
Oh, how now, brown cow? Let's see if I can pull up information and read while we watch the cars get pulled out. What the hell? According to NBC Miami, the Miami-Dade Police Department Special Patrol Bureau Divers Unit is searching for several dozen vehicles Tuesday after receiving information of cars submerged in Doral Lake. Divers Ken Fleming and Doug Bishop. Oh, Lord, Doug Bishop told WSVN they found the 32 vehicles while working as volunteers hoping to solve cold cases. When we discover
And they just pulled out this first car from the center of the lake here. And you can see it looks like it's been underwater for a while. It looks like they're trying to turn it. And the divers just came out the water as well.
Wow. When we discover a spot like this with multiple vehicles, it pretty much indicates that that's a crime where they're disposing the vehicles or hiding. What? Indicates that a crime where they're disposing the vehicles and hiding them from law enforcement. Typical AWP shit. The police told NBC Miami one of the cars recovered Tuesday was a 2002 Nissan Altima that was confirmed a stolen vehicle. These are the most likely types of vehicles we're going to find here dumped in the lake. Vehicles that have perhaps been abandoned and they wanted to get rid of them. So I wonder if they'll find any bodies or not. But, Doug Bishop, I guess, here is saying that it's a crime or something. Or what did it say? Likely? Pretty much indicates that a crime. Well, it is a crime. He didn't say bodies. To be fair, he did say crime, so that stealing a car and dumping it is a crime. He said the spokesperson said vehicles that have perhaps been abandoned and they wanted to get rid of them and they got rid of them out here. Or those that took it for a joyride. But why so many in one lake? What the hell is that? Is it a group of people? Zalbetta said the divers think there's about 20 vehicles in the lake. He said they're not disregarding the possibility of fraud or other factors like homicide. Okay, there you go. Officials said they don't believe any cold cases are tied to the vehicles in the lake. Okay. Wow. Lord of shit. Good night, Emily. Jen. Doug isn't with AW. Yeah, I know. We covered that. He's in his own thing now. Oh, Kim says you can drive on the reservation. So we'll just skip around a little bit. Car coming out. Gotta go do some groceries. That's a car.
And it's Chopper 6 here. We are hovering over the Doral Sweetwater area, and we're watching officials recover some of these lost vehicles here in this lake. Just to give you a bit of perspective, we are just southwest of Miami International Airport. And just moments ago, we did watch officials pull this first vehicle from the center of the lake here. As you could see it hanging upright on this crane
Still a
right
good
here.
find. It's interesting.
As you can see, officials are trying to push it right on top of this tow truck that they have parked, as they are trying to recover multiple vehicles from this lake. It does seem like they are trying to drain the vehicle of some of the water that was caught inside.
Imagine the body just
But
falls
you can
out.
see the
How well would that
vehicles
be?
just
Right?
hanging here from this crane. Now these divers over here to our left were in the water.
I guess they
were
would
the ones
confirm if
who
there's a body in there, though.
initially hooked the vehicle using this line here to attach it to the crane. But we are just sitting here watching these officials, again, recover multiple vehicles from this lake just southwest of Miami International over the Doral Sweetwater area.
All the people that got insurance from those vehicles, they got to look into that. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what the outcome of this is going to be. If it's just a bunch of random people dumping vehicles here, or is this some type of scheme, like they mentioned, fraud or something?
Over at this lake, we did watch some divers and officials hook this vehicle onto this crane, and we're watching them drain some of the water that was stuck inside and push it towards this this tow truck that they're eventually going to move it over to and get it out of here to continue looking for other vehicles. We are going to continue to watch these officials recover these vehicles. Again, we're over the Doral.
That was that. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that. I wanted to see this real quick, too.
Days after telling 911 she found a stranded toddler last week, has been charged with 2 misdemeanors in connection with the hoax. That's according to the police. Someone fakes their own disappearance that has gotten so much national attention in your long career.
I have not. Not only, obviously this thing started locally, and then it went nationally, and then it went internationally, and I'm not really sure why it garnered so much captivity, and possibly because of maybe the baby on the interstate. I really haven't been able to figure it out, to be honest.
You know, I just wanted to ask as well if you're any closer, your team of investigators in figuring out the why in all of this. Are you any closer in figuring out, the motivations behind why Russell, might have led everyone on this story?
We've got, so many investigators that have been working, but we really, until we know factually the actual reason, and there's a couple of things that we'd love to know. Factually, we don't know where she was for the 49 hours of disappearance. And I don't know the end game. Don't know exactly what was the end game. And to me, the issue for her, when we talk about the end game, what happens if the police are close and actually get to her before she's able to make that second call and leave the interstate before we arrive? If we arrive prior to that, what happens then? Where's the baby? So there's just so many questions that I'd love to get answered by her. And if she doesn't answer them, I can assure you that our investigators are still trying to figure it out. Hopefully we can figure it out ourselves.
So still at this point, we don't know where Carly Russell was for that 49 hours. You don't have any indications of that?
No, again, it would be all speculation, and we just want to deal in facts.
Okay. I wanted to ask as well, in your gut, what were the kind of first indications where this was a missing persons investigation that then transitioned into an investigation to someone who made, false reports to law enforcement? What was that hinge moment in the investigation for you and your investigators?
No, for me, been here a long time, doing police work for a long time. And the initial phone call that I got at the house to tell me exactly what happened that particular night on July the 13th, I was a little surprised. And they talked about that, there had been a baby on the interstate. She was talking to 911. Then she disconnected with 911 and called a relative that was talking. And then all of a sudden, they hear kind of a scream. Police get up there and she's no longer there. My first question, of course, was how many other calls that we have that saw the baby? And they said none. So that kind of raised, a little hair on the back of my neck for a few seconds there. But I've learned after many years in law enforcement that until you have the facts, we can have thoughts that, maybe this isn't. But until you know factually that it's not, you work like it is. And of course we did. And of course we had the Secret Service was able to extract some of the data from her telephone. That certainly helped us. And then I think also the video on the interstate that following day, where we were able to determine that the time that she was talking to 911, that toddler would have had to walk 600 yards. And being a football fan,
being a football fan,
6 football fields. And to think that a toddler could walk 6 football fields without stopping, without getting in the roadway. I've had kids, many people have had, and they find that pretty much, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it seems like the reports of the sighting of this toddler on the interstate, a very busy interstate at night, it seems to me, and you're alluding to the fact that that was really the first red flag in all of this, and then that kind of precipitate, looking into her search history on the internet once it did turn into a potential hoax investigation.
Yes, sir. And again, even though we had seen, I had that question about the baby, and of course some of our investigators did, but when that story became not only national, international story, as you can well imagine, there were hundreds and hundreds of tips coming in. And, under the circumstances that we don't know factually that this didn't happen, we're running down hundreds and hundreds of tips. We're making phone calls all over the country, talking to people. And you have to
cover COVID?
You just never know that one tip, that one thing that may sound crazy to you, get on the telephone, and it could be that little lead that we were looking for. So until we really saw, the interstate video, and then of course some of the Google searches that she had made from her place of business, and then from her telephone, that pretty much sealed the deal that the possibilities of this being a real are probably slim.
Yeah, your force expended so many resources in looking for Carlee Russell at the time over the course of that 49 hours. Did that take away
some really nice suits,
current outstanding missing persons reports there in your jurisdiction or your district that you couldn't focus on because you had to focus on finding Carlee Russell?
We were very fortunate that during those 49 hours, that there really wasn't any significant case that we had to abort at that time. So again, we had some cases that we certainly could have been working on, and we didn't, but there wasn't anything that was so significant.
Saying breaking the number of dead people from the Maui fires is at 53. Hawaii's governor says that number is expected to rise. Whoa.
I just wanted to get your thoughts as well. Once Carlee did return home to her parents there, we don't really know a lot of the information about what transpired or what was said. It's kind of all secondhand from, her parents, and they didn't really want to go into it. They've been interviewed countless times. When your officers responded, though, once they got word she was safe, can you offer or divulge any information that was said? The questions they might have asked Carlee Russell, right at the get-go in that first interview? Because we have very little
Red said, I wonder if he rents his suits.
Daylight into that kind of reunion.
Right. Well, the investigators were able to go to the hospital and meet with her for a very short period of time to talk to her. And she did divulge at that time that she had been kidnapped from the interstate, that a gentleman had taken her over a fence, put her in a car, ended up taking her, put her in the back of an 18-wheeler. At one point, she was able to run. They grabbed her again, put her back in the 18-wheeler, and then eventually went to a house where they kept her. So again, that was the statement that she made to the investigators. Of course, under the circumstances that night of her just returning home, it didn't press too much. And then, of course, we thought we'd have an opportunity, hopefully soon thereafter, to interview. And as we well know, on horrific type cases, generally the victim wants to meet with the police because they want to get that perpetrator and put them where they belong, right? So it was a little unusual, too, that after that initial a few minutes of getting that account, that we were kind of stonewalled and get an opportunity to talk with her again.
I want to get to the COVID thing too, in case this chase happens. I want to be able to hopefully cover this thing before, because it looks like it's still going for now. Don't get too excited because these things get canceled all the time, but
That's so true because, you know, in your words, in your press conferences, you indicated that she was somewhat uncooperative after that first initial interview the night she returned. Is that what precipitated those charges, those 2 misdemeanors, do you think, in your view?
Well, we would have, you know, we were going to charge under the circumstances. We charged exactly under Alabama law what we could charge, and they happened to be misdemeanors. And made the statement at that press conference that I didn't feel like that misdemeanor was really proper. In Alabama, you could go out and steal up to $500 worth of merchandise, shoplifting, and it's the same, you know, the same charge. So I'm hoping, and I've already had several calls from legislators after our conversation, that I think there should be some sort of enhancement that when you start talking about a kidnapping that has occurred to you, or maybe another violent type crime, that there be some sort of enhancement to make that punishable more than a year, which would be a felony.
Are you optimistic, or are you anticipating that enhancement will occur very, very soon to raise those charges to the felony level? Do you think that's going to happen?
I certainly hope so. I'm doing the best I can. I've talked to several legislators. I'm talking to the Speaker of the House in Alabama, and I think right now have a lot of support for that. So hopefully, when the session starts, that'll be something that.
Okay, we'll leave it there. There's 2 things I wanted to cover. Because there's this Cuomo thing. Let me see if I can do the Cuomo thing real quick, and then if we have time for COVID thing.
This is a bizarre story, but it also may be a very important story. This weekend, more than 30 cars were found lying at the bottom of a Florida lake near Miami.
By the way,
International
Deviled Eyes, thank you so much for the super chat. It's called out by the recommended window. Damn. I know, right? Janelle617, thank you for the super chat, says more like Lil Carly. Darcy Miller, thank you for the super chat. I think they thought people would buy the story and donate to GoFundMe. When questioned, I had to come up with why it happened. And bestseller, thank you so much for the super chat. And that was yesterday. Okay.
Report in Doral.
They're going, man. They're going. The helicopter's going.
Surrounding community. Authorities say the cars could hold the keys to decades-old missing person cold cases. Joining us now first is Edwin Lopez, the chief of police in Doral. It's great to see you, Chief. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, anytime. Thanks for having me.
So, Chief, I was just looking on the old Google Maps here. And is this the Airport Lake, what it's called Airport Lake on the map, or is it somewhere else?
It's actually it's called the Finger Lakes, the city of Doral.
Because the fingers that go down with these different houses that are each there, right?
Yeah, it's mostly a commercial and industrial area, mostly businesses, and it's close proximity to Miami International Airport, though, a few miles.
How deep is it that there are 30 cars at the bottom of it?
So there's a steep decline where we're finding most of the vehicles, but it's in the center of the lake. It's north of 50 feet deep. And the visibility is really bad down there at this time with lots of rains recently. So the divers are reporting that they have, once they go deeper than 20 feet or so, they have zero visibility and only have to utilize their hands to basically feel themselves around. So it's pretty challenging.
So how surprised are you by this, and what are the questions that you're now pursuing?
Well, initially, the report of a vehicle in a lake or in a canal is not super surprising. But once you start in north of 20, 25 vehicles, it is rather surprising. So today, we were able to extract 4 vehicles in this initial stage. It's impossible for us to get to the rest of the vehicles due to the multiple vehicles being entangled in certain areas of the lake. So we need to bring in extra equipment. It's a multi-agency investigation. We have the Miami-Dade County Police along with the City of Doral Police, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue as well, because we need multiple divers to be able to access them. And we were able to extract, like I said, 4 vehicles. And these vehicles range from the late 80s models vehicles all the way to late 90s. And these vehicles have been reported stolen for over 20 years ago, the first 4. So we look forward to continue to uncover and investigate and see what details we can discover.
So you did the first 4. Were all of them stolen? Are there any other cases that you're trying to connect?
So the first 4 vehicles are reported stolen. The most recent one was reported in 2002. It was a 1989.
So, yeah, I'm wondering if this is like some sort of fraud scheme thing or something. I don't know.
Accurate legend, if you remember that.
Or somebody just dumping them off after stealing them, or somebody trying to, I don't know.
Yeah. So we had a Cadillac as well and an older model van, and we were able to we still identify the vehicle identification numbers and some other identifiers, which leads us to believe that we're going to be able to at least find victims of these cases or family members that will help us start piecing the puzzle together and connect the nexus as to what were the whereabouts of these individuals during this time and if they're connected to other more serious crimes.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Is there any expectation? I mean, you would have said if you had found any bodies or anything like that so far, but is there any expectation that maybe this will help you figure out what happened to someone as opposed to something?
Absolutely. We expect anything at this point. It could be crimes related to fraud or stolen vehicles all the way to potential homicides. Yeah, so we don't know what we're going to find. This is a case-by-case basis. We hope for the best in terms of crimes related to just, physical evidence in terms of vehicles and things of that nature, thefts. But our detectives are ready for anything. We had homicide detectives on scene today just in case, and there's been multiple missing persons case, not only recent, but in the past as well. So we'll be able to hopefully corroborate some of this information and evidence that we're gathering at this point to see if we can connect the dots.
How long do you think it'll take to get them all out? And you're making sure that there are no alligators that are getting in the way of what you're trying to do there?
Yeah, we expect at least a few weeks. It's a thorough search because it's a freshwater body there that's established. The vehicles are not corroded, to the level that if they were placed in the ocean. We're just a few miles away from the ocean as well, so that would be a lot more challenging with currents and tides, and as well as the salinity of the water and the damage it can cause over time. But these vehicles are in fresh water, and surprisingly, I was on the scene today, and I was able to lay hands and eyes on these vehicles, and they were in fair condition. We were able to extract the vehicle identification number plates on the vehicle, and now the investigative process continues. So we're hopeful to be able to extract a lot of these details and locate some family members if the owners had passed away, because it happened so long ago, and start piecing the puzzle together.
Okay.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to News.
Okay, so the last thing, man. Last thing. But last but not least. Last and least. Secret California medic lab stored COVID. Hundreds of dead mice in warehouse. Fascinating. California officials were thrown for a loop when a routine hose inspection uncovered an illegal medical lab filled with infectious agents, hundreds of dead mice, and other hazardous materials operating inside a warehouse. The city of Redley's code enforcement team stumbled upon a lab last December with a months-long investigation revealing that the Prestige Biotech and Universal Meditech, Inc. were holding vials of at least 20 infectious viruses, bacteria, and parasites, including COVID-19. Saying so. E. coli and malaria. According to the court documents filed by the Superior Court of the State of California, there were over 800 different chemicals on site in different bottles of different acids. Unfortunately, a lot of these are being categorized as under unknown chemicals. I don't even know what the shit is. Joe Pareto, the Assistant Director of Fresno County Department of Public Health, told KSEE. A lot of these labels have been removed from the bottles, so there was only so much testing we could do. I've never seen this in my 26-year career with the county of Fresno. Wow, this shit, bro. The underground lab. Wow. This is the shit that back in the day, you even mentioned this, they give you a strike on YouTube. Look at this shit. Why is this getting national coverage? This shit kind of weird, huh? Where's all the when they've been talking about this COVID stuff for like years and shit? Where's all the national? Let me see, COVID lab. The hell? They're still talking about Wuhan, bitch. Look here in California. All the curated searches on Google, you can't even find this shit. COVID lab. Let me try COVID lab California. An illicit. Okay, here's ABC. An illicit Chinese-owned lab fueled conspiracy theories, but officials say it posed no threat. Oh, it's just no threat. No threat. Oh, it's a threat. No, it's safe. No wonder. Only 800 something chemical. No, it's safe. Oh, it's fine. No problem. An illicit Chinese-owned lab fueled conspiracy theories, but officials say they pose no danger. Amazing. Isn't it interesting how they cover this shit? Amazing. Oh, relax. Calm down. Oh, what's wrong? With Chinese owners that officials say were operating illegally, the discovery in December of the lab producing pregnancy. And look at this shit. So the cover story for this lab, when they said they try to say, oh, we're just doing COVID-19 tests and pregnancy tests. To be sold online was the beginning of a case that would become an online firestorm of conspiracy theories and misinformation about China trying to engineer biological weapons. A woman in the lab answered her knock, and behind her were the others in plastic gloves and blue surgical masks packing pregnancy tests for shipping. Harper said they spoke broken English and told her they were from China. Walking through the lab, she found dozens of refrigerators and ultra-low temperature freezers hooked to illegal wiring, vials of blood, and jars of urine, and shelves and plastic. As if this is some regular chill shit. Like, chill, yeah, calm down, just chill. How dare you talk about this illegal operation with viruses and all this kind of shit? About 1,000 white lab mice being kept in crowded, soiled containers. The woman said the owner lived in China, provided a phone number and email address, and asked her to leave. Alarmed by what she saw, Harper, whose work mostly entails ensuring people have permits for yard sales and are keeping their lawns mowed, contacted Fresno County health officials and then the FBI. The discovery last December launched investigations by federal, state, and local authorities who found no criminal activity. What? At the medical lab owned by Prestige Biotech, a company registered in Las Vegas, and no evidence of a threat to the public or national security. Nonetheless, so they're saying there's no threat. That is so weird. Cause, hold on. Okay, so this article says no threat. Let me find another one. I love it. Okay, ABC says no threat, nothing to worry about. Well, you can look at another one like USA Today. Fairly shocking secret medical lab in California stored bioengineered mice laden with COVID. Wait, is this an old article? What was this ABC thing put out? August 9th. That was yesterday. This was from July. Medical waste and hundreds of mice bioengineered to catch and carry COVID-19 virus. This shit is just normal? The facility housed various chemicals suspected of biological materials, bodily fluids, and hundreds of lab mice. County public officials said they have also found medical devices believed to have been developed on site, such as COVID-19 and pregnancy tests. The cover story. After several attempts to communicate with the Prestige Biotech in Fresno County, officials are accusing the company of not being forthcoming. Of course not! With information and failing to comply with orders, such as providing a plan for hazardous and medical waste. They got no hazard plan and shit. They got shit all over the place. Rats crowded on top of each other, apparently allegedly carrying COVID and shit. COVID carrying mice and shit. Look at this. CDC detected at least 20 infectious agents. I don't know. How do you come from this to this? ZBS said officials had to conduct. I don't know about these companies, man. Depending on where you read it, is what the information is going to tell you. Whatever, it's going to be a different story, I guess, depending where you go. The authorities discovered that they were working on the inside of the building. Zambia said federal, state, and local agencies joined the investigation. Certain rooms were found to contain vessels of liquid and various apparatus, court documents said. Also observed blood and tissue and other bodily fluid samples and serums, and thousands of vials of unlabeled fluids and suspected biological material. This is some weird shit. Hundreds of mice were found at the warehouse. They were kept in inadequate conditions and overcrowded cages. No food or water. Man, this is some crazy shit. I'd love to see like a video of the inside of that place. CBA said officials called the Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention after 30 freezers and refrigerators were found, with some set to minus 80 degrees. Ultimately, what we did find is some viruses such as HIV, COVID, chlamydia, rubella, malaria, things of that nature. Ah. Damn, look at this. Fake Los Angeles pizza shop turns out to be an illegal drug extraction lab. What the hell is going on with that? No worries, that's fine. People been ranting and raving for years and still raving, but you find a fucking illegal lab, it's like, shh. Oh, no. Oh. What? Yeah, look at this shit. That's just so odd to me. For years, people have been told all they talk about is COVID all day long and shit. The illegal Chinese biolab in California should be a national scandal. The illegal Chinese biolab in California remains an under-discussed issue, but it should be treated as a national scandal, even as more details continue to emerge about the story. Infectious agents, including HIV, hepatitis, herpes, the lab workers claimed the lab was making they claimed they were only making pregnancy tests and COVID tests. Okay. Prestige Biotech, the Chinese company that took over the Universal Meditech and set up the shop at the warehouse in Ridley, had its COVID test recalled earlier this year. That's another L for them. Real estate manager Nicole, Universal Meditech or Prestige Biotech, had also been kicked out of Canada and Texas. Damn. You can't work out in these other states, just go to Cali, take whatever. Before setting up its location in Fresno, Ridley, and Tulare, another California city, in which the company had operated from 2015 to 2019. That's The company then wanted to move its lab and infectious agents to a new location right next to the airport, right next to the Fresno Yosemite International Airport. That's sus, kind of a little bit to me. I don't know. On top of that, Prestige Biotech appears to have received $150,000 in loans from the Paycheck Protection Program, according to a letter from the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Representative Jim Costa, that the money was paid in April 2020 and April 2021, meaning that the second installment was paid after Prestige Biotech had moved its operations and its assets from Universal Meditech into the secret illegal Ridley location. Given that we already know that China runs several secret police stations across the world to harass dissidents, which includes stations on U.S. soil, who say that there aren't illegal Chinese biolabs operating in the U.S., given that the COVID pandemic almost certainly started with the China, you can't even say that shit, they cancel you for that, Chinese lab in Wuhan, the operation of a secret Chinese lab illegally dealing with infectious agents on U.S. soil should raise at least one red flag, shouldn't it? Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty weird. I guess it's not surprising, kind of, but interesting. Going on that shit for years. All of a sudden now they quiet. I don't know, man. Anyway, that's actually really alarming, though. I mean, I've been kind of joking around and but that's pretty crazy. Like, they were saying there was even shit in there that they couldn't even figure out or test what it was. Bruh. Yeah, the secret lab is Chinese owned, according to these articles. That is some crazy ish. Gavin. Just want to mention there's a press conference regarding Hawaii in about 20-30 minutes. The last one was 45 minutes. Can you tell me where? I have to take a break, but maybe I can come back for that. Because I have no idea what's going on in Hawaii. I saw the fire thing, and so far 50 people. What's going on over there? Hawaii? Where are they doing those press conferences? I'm kind of hungry, so I could get a snack and come back after. Why? It's a step, but we're just talking about weight loss, right? I really should just starve myself. That's more on top of this shit. Round the clock coverage. Boy, that boy don't stop. Looks like he's disintegrating. Okay. Let's see. I don't know where they're doing these press conferences. Hawaii. Went directly from Hawaii, Maui. Oh, there's Hawaii News now. Let's see. That was like a Facebook page. I mean, a YouTube page. Live officials provide update on wildfire. No, starving yourself or you gain weight. I don't know. Eating doesn't seem to help though. So the only logical thing is to starve myself. That's what's worked before. I mean, not really starving, but doing keto. This eating shit ain't helping. I do have some peanut butter. Ooh, hoax. You should totally do it. NBC News.
We thought we'd be home in 2 hours. I tried to talk to the police officer to try to get back up there to save our cat, and he would not allow it. They were pushing all the traffic north, going to what we call the Kaanapali, Honokawai, Kahana, Napili area. They herded all of us from Lahaina there. I must say, the Lahaina area is really all workers. That all of the homes. And I want to say there's 150 to 200 homes that have been lost, and we're all blue collar workers. We're in the industry of aloha. We're service people. They're builders. We all live here full time, so it's devastating. We got up north and we got to Maui Prep High School, where they made a makeshift shelter. Met some of our friends. We were still in disbelief. My wife said, I think our house is gone. I said, I don't believe our house is gone until I see it. And but we started talking to people that were a little more informed than us, because again, we weren't in our neighborhood. We were 15 blocks away, and what they were telling me, and I work at Chemo's on Front Street. I've worked there for 43 years. They said they said it was gone.
What is going on over there?
I couldn't believe it. So here we are. We're trying to look at the bright side. We have insurance. I saw the declaration by the president that they'll allocate money to help rebuild our town. We've been through hurricanes and things before. We call it Lahaina Strong.
That's what
and I believe that we will persevere. The Aloha spirit is strong. The community is strong. We're a small little beach community. And I think that we will come out of this thing better, stronger, and revitalize our industry for the visitors to come to this great town of Lahaina, which is a historical town. Yeah. So
Do you feel confident, Jack, that you and your community will get the help you need to rebuild, to survive the immediate days?
Well, that's one of the reasons that I took this call. I very much speak for, I think, many people in our community. Communication is everything. And I know we don't have cellular right now. Towers are down. I think they said 80 poles just in Lahaina were on the ground. There's a lot of work to do. I know FEMA has arrived. We're so happy about that. I heard rumor. I'm on the other side of the island at a friend's home. I'm hearing rumor we're going to head back that way to go through the rubble of our property when we're allowed to. But I believe that we're going to be okay in the long run.
All right, Jack, thank you so much for sharing your story and giving us a better sense of what that community is like, because it's so easy for us to look at these stories and think we're talking about numbers of houses, square footage, but we're talking about people like you, and you really reminded us of that tonight. So, Jack, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it, and we wish the best for you and your family.
So,
hey, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Everybody.
My bad, guys. I didn't realize that.
Tonight, we are hearing more stories of survivors like Jack recounting the unimaginable loss and terrifying escapes as the fires destroyed everything in their paths. NBC's Dana Griffin spoke with some of them today and has their harrowing
in October,
stories.
Patty, next trial. Oh, wow.
As daylight exposes the scarred
Holy
skeleton
shit.
of a prosperous tourist town.
It's all gone, man.
The people who thrive off the land are gutted.
It's like an apocalypse.
Mason Jarvie has the burns to prove he barely escaped.
We just had the worst disaster I've ever seen. All Lahaina is burnt to a crisp.
A paradise turned overnight into an inferno. Residents forced to flee in terror.
We thought we were okay, but then the wind came, the gas stations blew up, everything caught fire by the brush, and then we just had to evacuate.
Some jumped into action, warning others of the rushing flames.
The fire's on Front Street. It's time to go. We've been pulling people out since last night, trying to save people's lives. And I feel like we're not getting the help we need.
Hey, I started a new stream, guys. Let's go over to the new one. Let's hang up. There's a press conference coming. We'll watch it for a little bit.